Few things are scarier than grief, and The Babadook perfectly captures its eerie, suffocating atmosphere. The movie follows a widowed mother and her son as they confront a mysterious, monstrous presence in their home. The world building is dark and intense, while the performances intensify the anxiety. Of course, the jump scares are terrifying enough to make even the bravest jump in their seats. Who would have imagined John Krasinski, beloved for his role as Jim Halpert on The Office, would direct one of the most brilliant post-apocalyptic horror films of the last decade? In A Quiet Place, a family struggles to survive in a world populated by blind extraterrestrial creatures with an acute sense of hearing. As the family's safety is threatened by every minor mistake, the tension rises, and our hearts race along with the characters' every move. Once known for backing fresh ideas like Hereditary, A24 began venturing into more mainstream territory with Talk to Me, while retaining its knack for original scares. The film follows a group of teenagers who discover they can contact spirits using a mysterious severed, embalmed hand. It's a chilling take on the consequences of dabbling with the supernatural. Hailed by critics as the film that revitalized the horror genre, Hereditary reinvents the familiar tropes of cursed bloodlines and haunted houses to create a chilling masterpiece that continues to haunt viewers. The story follows a grieving family tormented by sinister occurrences after the death of their secretive grandmother. Though not as strong as its predecessor, A Quiet Place, Part 2 is a masterclass in tension and jump scares. The Abbotts, now forced to leave their destroyed home, must navigate a world filled with blind aliens that have a terrifyingly acute sense of hearing. Every moment of their journey heightens the sense of vulnerability, with the film expertly keeping viewers on edge. Released on Shudder in July 2020, Host turned the pandemic into an even scarier experience. This computer screen horror picture unfolds entirely on a Zoom call, following a group of friends who accidentally summon a demon during an online seance. It's one of the most claustrophobic movies in recent years and is definitely not for the faint-hearted, especially at night. The splatter genre seemed to be on its way out until Terrifier 2 Inches made a return. Following the success of the first film in 2016, the sequel took the horror world by storm, combining over-the-top gore with an unexpected box office success. The plot centers on Art the Clown, who targets teenager Sienna Shaw, a girl destined to confront him. The brutal, visceral killings keep the heart pounding throughout. At first glance, a story about a cursed disease transmitted through a sinister smile might seem boring. Yet, 2022's Smile turned this premise into a terrifying experience, earning its place in modern horror. It follows a therapist who witnesses the bizarre death of a patient, only to be plagued by increasingly disturbing visions that convince her something supernatural is at play. It's hard to decide whether the best part of The Autopsy of Jane Doe is its spine-chilling jump scares or the deep mystery that propels the plot. Father and son coroners experience eerie supernatural events while investigating the body of an unidentified woman. Set in the creepy confines of a morgue, the film plays on the unsettling nature of death and the tension of the coroner's work, building an engrossing and terrifying story. Just when it seemed like mannequins and dolls were becoming tired tropes, Oddity brought fresh terror to the genre. This Irish horror film follows a blind medium and curio shopkeeper, still grieving her twin sister's death, as a wooden golem from her collection becomes central to her investigation into her sister's murder. The object itself is enough to make your heart stop, but it's just the beginning of the horror that unfolds in the large, lonely, and dark country house. Paranormal Activity is infamous for making viewers rethink every creak and shadow at night. With a minimal budget of $200,000 and strategically placed security cameras around a house, it delivered one of the most realistic horror experiences of its time. The story follows a young couple haunted by a supernatural presence, using cameras to capture the eerie occurrences. The jump scares are masterfully executed, emerging from the most unexpected corners of the house. For those brave enough, the franchise has expanded into 7 titles, deepening its terrifying lore. Though the Insidious franchise now feels overextended, the first film, directed by a then-rising James Wan in 2010, terrified audiences from start to finish, and still does. It follows a couple whose son falls into a mysterious coma, becoming a vessel for malevolent entities in an astral plane. The chilling atmosphere and relentless tension solidified its place as a modern horror classic. Nothing is scarier than a horror film inspired by true events, especially one that translates real-life experiences into relentless jump scares. Based on the story of Anneliese Michel, a German woman who underwent 67 Catholic exorcism rites before her death, The Exorcism of Emily Rose follows an agnostic defense attorney representing a priest accused of negligent homicide after performing an exorcism. It masterfully blends heart-pounding horror with gripping courtroom drama. Before jump scares were considered cliché, Scott Derrickson crafted what the Science of Scare Project deems the scariest horror movie ever, Sinister. According to the study, viewers' heart rates jumped by 34% while watching, from 64 BPM to 86 BPM on average, with the most terrifying moment spiking at 131 BPM. The film stars Ethan Hawke as a struggling true crime writer who discovers snuff films depicting gruesome murders in his new home, placing his family in grave danger. A stop-motion animator becomes increasingly obsessed with a project she's working on, leading to an unsettling series of events that is better not to spoil. Even the most seasoned horror fans won't be able to predict the outcome of this dark fixation. The clash between art and artist creates a visually disturbing experience that leaves viewers' hearts skipping beats. It Follows came out of nowhere and quickly became a modern classic, with a sequel now in the works. Micah Monroe stars as a young woman pursued by a relentless, shape-shifting entity that moves at a slow, eerie pace and can take the form of anyone, even loved ones. The film delivers some of the most innovative jump scares in recent years, solidifying its place in horror history. The most underrated entry on this list, The Dark and the Wicked, deserves far more recognition. Directed by Brian Bertino, known for the nerve-wracking The Strangers, the film follows two siblings who encounter a demonic entity at their family farm following their mother's suicide. The movie's relentless atmosphere and haunting imagery make it a hidden gem in modern horror. It's a well-known fact that the original Japanese The Ring is far superior to its 2002 American adaptation, but the latter still succeeds in delivering its heavier share of scares. Directed by Gore Verbinski and starring Naomi Watts, this version heightens the tension with added spooks. The plot is familiar. A journalist discovers a cursed videotape that causes viewers to die 7 days later. If there's anything more nerve-wracking than Art the Clown's gruesome antics, it's his holiday-themed horrors. With a bigger budget than its predecessors, director Damien Leone pushes the limits of gore in Terrifier 3, showing that no one, especially not sweet children, is safe. The escalation of brutality keeps the heart racing as Christmas is turned into a twisted nightmare. Love it or hate it, The Conjuring is the cornerstone of modern horror. James Wan's 2013 film follows Ed and Lorraine Warren as they help the Perron family deal with paranormal occurrences. Filled with jump scares, the movie introduced the iconic Annabelle doll and the malevolent spirit Bathsheba, while Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson's performances as the Warrens set the stage for an infinite cinematic universe. Combining clowns and found footage, Hell House LLC is nightmare fuel at its finest. Filmed as a documentary, it follows a group of haunted house creators preparing for the 2009 opening of their popular attraction, Hell House. Tragedy strikes on opening night when an unexplained malfunction results in 15 deaths. As the film unravels the events leading up to the tragedy, it exposes chilling secrets that had remained a mystery. This one will make you sleep with the lights on. No horror film has matched the claustrophobic terror of The Descent, even after 2 decades. The story follows 6 women exploring an uncharted cave system, only to find themselves hunted by monstrous cannibals. The oppressive atmosphere grips viewers the moment they enter the cave, and the jump scares at the climax leave them gasping for air. Hailed as a revolutionary horror film by some and dismissed as nonsensical by others, Skinamarink sparked intense debate within the horror community. As the first analog horror movie to hit the big screen after years of the genre thriving on YouTube, it defies traditional storytelling. The film follows 2 siblings who wake up to find their father missing and the windows, doors, and objects in their house disappearing. With only 3 jump scares, the lingering sense of dread is utterly nerve-wracking. Fans of contemporary horror often agree that The Conjuring 2 Inches deserves as much acclaim as its predecessor, with some even calling it the best in James Wan's franchise. This time, the Warrens travel to England to help the Hodgson family, who are plagued by poltergeist activity in their Enfield council house in 1977, an event later known as the Enfield Poltergeist. Darker and more haunting, it stands as a modern masterpiece. While Insidious 2 inches may not match the brilliance of the first film, it certainly ramps up the jump scares. If you're all about the scares and not necessarily the plot, this sequel is a must-watch. It follows the married couple from the first entry as they seek to uncover the truth behind their dangerous connection to the spirit world.